You're watching a segment of The Splash, Greater West Bloomfield's news magazine show.
Our community has a wealth of historic landmarks, both in the thick of the cities and township as well as in nature. At Orchard Lake Schools, reporter Laurence Nilan recently had an opportunity to tap into a little bit of that rich history.
Maple syrup was in great abundance in Orchard Lake at the second annual maple sugaring event at St. Mary's. The festivities brought out some maple novices and others who are well versed in this original recipe to coat your favorite breakfast.
I brought my family out because my son is a freshman here at Orchard Lake St. Mary's, and when I heard of maple sugaring, it brought back some fond memories since I grew up in New England. I don't believe any artificial products entered our home with relation to maple syrup. It was sort of a local law, or at least it was in my house. So I grew up with real maple syrup, and my son, coincidentally, has had a hot breakfast nearly every day since he was 2 years old with only real maple syrup. So I brought them out for a little history and a pancake breakfast.
And that history of harvesting syrup from maple trees began long before Europeans settled in North America.
We first learned about this kind of process through the Native Americans, and then the European settlers, the French, the British, all learned how to do it, and then settlers who made this our wonderful state learned that same method, and then every spring, February, March, they would start to do this process of harvesting the sap from maple trees to turn into syrup or candy.
The first step in harvesting sap from a tree is simple: determining which trees are actually maple trees.
There's a couple of ways you can identify a maple tree. You look at the bark, typically, and you would look at how the tree branches off from the trunk. If it's in an opposite where branches are facing both or coming out of both sides, then that's an indication it could be a maple tree. But another great way to identify a maple tree is by looking at the leaves. Maple trees have a very distinct leaf pattern, and then you can say, okay, this is a silver maple or this is a sugar maple based on the shape of the leaf itself.
And once you've found that tree, the time of day you decide to harvest is also important.
And the method behind it is you want to have below freezing temperatures at night and above freezing temperatures in the daytime. And what that does is, at night, all of the sap goes into the root system of the tree. During the daytime, the sap moves up the tree or the trunk.
Now you're just a few steps away from creating your own delectable topping for your waffles or pancakes.
You can tap the tree, and what you're doing is creating a small little hole in the tree that you can drill in at an up angle so that when the sap comes up, it can actually flow down into your collection, whether it's a bucket or one of those traditional methods where they have a spile with a hook and you put the bucket on the spile. Raw maple syrup just has the sap, and all you're doing is boiling out the water to get that kind of syrupy flavor, and the taste is sugar in the tree itself. So when you taste sap from a maple tree, you'll taste that kind of sugar, and then boiling it out, that's when you get that whole flavor of what we traditionally associate.
Reporting for The Splash, this is Laurence Nilan.
For more information, feel free to stop by our website at civiccentertv.com/Orchard Lake Sugaring.
Thanks for watching a segment of The Splash. To catch the entire show or other segments, watch us on Comcast Channel 15 or AT&T Channel 99. Or look us up online at thesplash.tv and listen to us on WBLD 89.3, the all-new Lakes FM.